Hello and welcome to another recording in the series of implementing business and products for our students of industrial design engineering / open innovator. So today's short clip is about customer segments. And of course all elements of the business model canvas are really important, but customer segments are maybe one of the most important ones to get right for your business model. So the key question here is, for whom are we creating value and who are our most important customers? Looking at dividing customer segments, you have to look at your business, your value proposition, and decide on find out what your customer segment looks like. For example, there is a difference between whether it's a business market or a consumer market. Whether you're dealing with professionals or laymen. Then there's a big difference between having a mass market or a niche market. It depends very much also on your communication, how you're going to reach them. Then there's the question of multi-sided markets. If you're looking at a multi-sided platform business model especially, there you can have a chicken or egg problem. So if, for example, you look at a marketplace where you connect people that want to buy something and people that want to sell something, you need to get enough of both groups in for it to be interesting. And there it can be really hard, because people that want to sell something will not get onto your platform if you don't promise them a large enough customer base. And it will be hard to get customers in if you don't have enough interesting sellers. So there you can really have to reach your customer segments. There you can have a chicken or egg problem if you have a multi-sided market. And then you can have very diversified customer segments. And that can mean that you need to maybe think about different value propositions. Let's see, this was just short. I won't go into detail, but these are the general lines to think about talking about customer segments. And what is important is to really decide who you serve and who you ignore. And I mean that differently, especially when we talk about serving, as in maybe you sometimes went into a bar or a restaurant where you felt out of place and were ignored by the staff. That's something different. But in terms of customer segments, you have to really look at the group that you're targeting. And it's very easy to say, oh, but our product is for everyone. But that doesn't work, and it will not help you in developing a good business model. So in that sense, it's really important to find out who are you serving and who are you ignoring. Maybe not ignoring as in the bar, but as in your communication and other things. So what defines a customer segment? So that can be demographics, of course, age, gender, where they live, so in the city or other areas. That can be really important in terms of customer segmentation. Spending behavior. If you have a luxury product, you're targeting richer people. But if we're going more deeper, we can look at motivation, desires, unmet needs. And these are harder to grasp, but can be really important in defining your customer segment in relation to your value proposition, because that's what you're trying to reach. So again, why do we need this segmentation and finding out what our target groups are? Well, of course, one size does not fit all. So it can be important for us to know who our group is, and we're not trying to reach groups that are not, for which our product isn't suitable. But there are other reasons as well. Because maybe our product does not appeal to a certain group, which means that we need to differentiate, create another value proposition. If you look at the example of Diet Coke and Coke Zero, there is hardly any difference in the content. They both have 0 calories, they both have sugar replacement stuff in them, but they are targeted at different target groups. And why is that? Because guys were buying Diet Coke, and basically they were getting jokes from their friends, as in, well, you're gonna not have a beer but a water then as well. Just because Diet Coke was originally targeted at women trying to lose weight. So Coke Zero has a different target group, and in that sense a different value proposition. So of course there's a lot of discussion, oh it's the same, blah 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 blah, but business wise it definitely makes sense to have two different customer segments here and two different products. Another thing is that with customer segmentation overall you can get more business. So if you look at KPN as a company, from KPN they have different brands. They have KPN, they have Hi, which is targeted at younger people, they have Telfort, which is more the no-nonsense brand, and Simyo is more the budget brand. This means that they have these different brands with different customer segments that they are aiming at. That means that overall they are able to get more business, to have a larger total installed base than they would have if they would just focus on one customer segment. So this is really important. Again, looking at that customer segmentation, how do you do it? There's lots of ways at looking at customer segments. And the demographic side, just saying, oh, we're only for young people, is really quite weak, because if you look at a simple group like 18 to 25-year-olds, there's lots of different people in there. There's lots of different customer segments within the customer segment of young people. So what really helps a lot better, if you know something about these people, about, as I said, their motivations, their desires, their unmet needs. What type of people are these and what drives them? What insights can you have into their motivations? And so a lot of companies work with segmentations like that. So this is an example, a simple overview that gives different customer segments or different target groups for the skincare market. So if you are developing a new product or a new brand, then you can keep these people in mind and think about what are their drivers, what type of product are they looking for, and in the total value proposition, what are they willing to pay, how to brand it, etc. But what kind of product? If you are developing a product for Dove, you're not aiming at the far right hand side here. Then there's a difference there. So this is an example you can, which is for the skincare market, but you also can go deeper with motivations. And the Dutch agency Motive Action has, let me just come up with the mentality model. This is based on motivational market research, and they've divided the market according to values and status. So people can have either traditional, modern or postmodern values, and low, middle or high need for status. And they've divided the Dutch population in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different target groups based on that. So this is very helpful if you're trying to develop a new product, to see which group it might appeal to and which language or brand characteristics you would then need to apply. For example, this is also, for example, really interesting material for political parties, because they also have a value proposition, but maybe not so much a business model. Going back to the business model, again, so look at different customer groups. When do they represent separate segments? So how do you put the lines between your segment? What are the borders? Customer groups represent separate segments if their needs require and justify a distinct offer. So Coke Zero versus Diet Coke. So here a distinct offer was justified. If they are reached through different distribution channels, if they require different types of relationships, they have substantially different profitabilities, and if they are willing to pay for different aspects of the offer. Well, you can think of different examples here, but you have to just go into that for yourself. And to round it up, what was again the relation to the value proposition, the core element of our business model? A value proposition creates value for a customer segment through a distinct mix of elements catering to that segment's needs. So you define your customer segments and create a value proposition for each customer segment, and these can be different. But it's really important to be clear on your customer segment, because if you're not clear on that, you might be messing up your value proposition, and in that sense your entire business model canvas. So don't hesitate to put in extra research, extra discussion, etc. on your customer segment, and don't just blow over it if a quick discussion about it doesn't lead to immediate results. Think about it and do it good, or don't do it. So much for today. See you on the next one.